In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can create this grungy photo effect using Photoshop. So let's get started. Hey, what's up guys, Dhruval here back with another video, and in this video I'm gonna use this images that I found on devantart.com. So this is the model image and this is the background image, and this is a little bit of smoke that we're gonna use to light up this cigarette that she's holding. And so first of all, let's start with cutting her out from the background. So I'm gonna select my quick selection tool from here and make a quick selection of her from here. And the image is really high resolution, so we can do one thing. Let's go to image size, and I'm gonna make it for tutorial. You don't have to necessarily do it, so I'm gonna make it 2000 by 3000. So it will make the image smaller and my work will get faster. So I'm gonna make the selection now. As you can see, the difference it makes in the speed, since my PC is a little bit slow. So let's try to cut her from the background and let's do it. Don't worry, for this portion I will show you how to do that. So first of all, using your quick selection tool, start doing this. And about the jacket, let's see if we can get it. Yes, we can, so no need to worry about that. And about the hair, so let's get that portion of the hair done. And here, so now for this rest of the areas, I'm gonna use my magnetic lasso tool. So in third option, click and hold your key, click, so then you will have magnetic lasso here. You can also right click just like that. So as you can see, we need to select the cigarette and this little bit of areas. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select my this second option, so it will allow me to add some extra selection. So let's go, and I'm gonna start adding the selection and a little bit here. It doesn't have to be extremely accurate around the cigarette because that's fine, it's not that detailed. So that seems fine, and come here and I'm just gonna double click here to make the selection, and that's covered. And the same way I'm gonna cover the fingers. Let's do them here and then let's finish it. So fingers are done, and now we need to remove selection from this area. So I'm gonna select this third option, which will allow me to remove the selection. So I'm gonna click here and make a really quick selection of here and here. So as you can see, it should not be very difficult since it's red and black in front of a gray background, so not a big deal. Very simple job to done. And come here and I'm gonna remove it, and see, that's like that. And if there is some annoying point like this, which always happen, use your delete key and boom, that's gone. So that's done. And about this portion, so same way I'm gonna remove the selection from here. So let's go here and take your time with it and add your own point, or don't completely rely on AI. So I'm gonna add a couple of points here, there, and remove that. Click here and here. In the fingers, be careful. If you remove too much of a data, they will start looking like sticks instead of fingers. So I'm gonna make a point here and a point here. See, in this type of situation, just use your own points quickly, and that's great. So I'm gonna go here and then I'm gonna double click, and that's gone. So this way we made the selection really quick, and you can fine tune it all day long. We don't have time for it. And see, there's a little bit of thing left here. So in this type of situation, use your third key, that is, I mean third solution I'm saying. Polygon lasso tool, so select the third one here. It works the same, but this time you can just select in straight lines with this tool, double click, and boom, that's gone. So this way you can utilize different tools to cut someone from the background. Now the selection is ready. All you have to do is click on this mask button, this third one here, and the background is gone. Now it's time to add in the background that we are going to use. So this is the image. So I'm gonna press Ctrl A, then I'm gonna press Ctrl C, so that will copy it, and then I'm gonna paste it here, Ctrl V. Now put this layer below this layer so we can see what's going on in the background. And the first and most important thing that I will do is select my layer 0, and then I will press Ctrl J. Now for this original layer 0, I'm gonna rename it. You can just double click on that and rename it to backup, and then I'm gonna put this one below my layer 0. Now this will never get used, but it is just for the backup, so we have our selection ready in case we screw up something in this one. And now we are going to adjust the background so she looks like she is in proper proportion. So I'm gonna select my layer 1, which is the background one, and let's shut this off, we don't need it now. So this is the layer 1, and I'm gonna move it a little bit here there. So here this seems fine. You can play around a little bit if you want to use this type of area or this area. Just make sure she looks like she belongs there and nothing something like this, because it will always look fake. So I'm gonna put this a little bit here. Yeah, that seems natural to me. And you can also, once you have selected your move tool, you can also move the background with your arrow keys, see, like that. So you can get exactly what you want. So this looks really decent to me. And first of all, let's make sure that the masking has been done properly. So as you can see, if you zoom in, you can see the hair and this edges, they look really jagged and it doesn't look good. So as you can see, we have this layer 0 here, and then I'm gonna right click on this layer and select refine mask. And in refine mask, first of all, let's take care of the edges. So to do that, I'm gonna just use the shift edge and decrease my edge a little bit. It will remove those parts. Where is it? Here you can see properly. Here the masking, the selection wasn't done properly. So I'm gonna show in here, like, so as you can look at this elbow, doesn't look that nice. So I'm gonna decrease that one, and I'm gonna feather it a bit, and then I'm gonna increase my contrast, so that will make it sharper a bit more. Yeah, that looks really nice. And since we increase the contrast, there a little bit of smoothing so that the edges doesn't look way too sharp. So not too much, not too little. That seems really good. So let's look at the rest of the edges, and near her, see, this is this will happen if you don't do your selection job properly. We rushed it due to tutorial, but you can take your time and make it proper. You can see that it is possible to mask this image, okay? So that is nice, and the rest of things look fine. So original one and this one looks nice, and then I'm gonna confirm it. Now since the edges are done, I'm gonna focus on the hair. So for the hair, right click on this thing, and I'm gonna select refine mask and just paint here a little bit like that, so we can see that hair. And since the background is gray, it won't be that tough to remove the background. See, it worked out really nice. And then I'm also gonna paint here. Don't do any setting changes or anything, just directly start painting after selecting your refine mask. There's nothing to do here, so just directly paint it. A gray background is the best for masking hair. So this seems it worked out really nice, and a little bit of details here, and that looks amazing. So that looks fairly decent, and let's zoom out. Now I'm gonna adjust some colors on the model. So select your layer here, not the mask, the actual thumbnail here, and then I'm gonna go to image adjustment, and then I will go to shadows and highlights. So as you can see here, we have a little bit of things going on, and focus on the glow, the details that come out when I increase the shadow. See, that's amazing. Now what I want to do is add a little bit of contrast, and I'm gonna play with tonal width a little bit, not too much. So play around until you get a decent amount of contrast on her jacket. You will have to play around a little bit. I'm gonna increase my midtone contrast a little bit, not too much, and then increase the shadows a bit too much, not too much. So play around until you get the decent enough, and then I'm gonna remove some colors because I don't want it to be extremely colorful, since you are going for a grungy look, and then adjust it a little bit here. So let's turn it on and off, and that looks actually really nice. You can turn down shadows a little bit if you want, and that looks amazing. So now hit OK. So the model adjustments are probably done for now. And now since the model looks really good, let's focus on the background. So I'm gonna turn off the model layer and select my layer 1. Now first thing that I will do is right click and convert it into a smart object. So now let's double click on this thing and apply a gradient overlay. And in the gradient overlay, I'm gonna go and select this foreground to transparent, and then I'm gonna, instead of using this black color, I'm gonna go and select an orange tone. So let's go and find some proper orange tone that matches this brick a little bit. So yeah, that seems fine. And a little bit down. Okay, hit OK. And instead of this black color, I'm gonna select another really dark orange, something like that. Hit OK, and then hit OK. Then change its blending mode to soft light. So now if I turn it on and off, you can see the difference it makes. This overall image becomes that orangish tone that we need. And then I'm gonna decrease the size a little bit and then decrease the opacity so it doesn't look way too strong. So let's turn it on and off. Yeah, it looks decent enough to me. And then hit OK. Now since it's done, I'm gonna turn on my model layer. Now this layer is on, but as you can see, this one is selected. So I'm gonna go to my filter, blur, and go to Gaussian blur. So now if I apply blur, as you can see, the model stands out really nice. So 8 pixel, let's try 10 pixel. Yeah, that seems decent. And then hit OK. Now I need to remove some of that blur from this road. So select your mask. Since we converted into a smart object, as you can see, the blur is on separate layer. So let's click on this and select our brush. And in the brush, I'm gonna select a regular, come on brush, come on, a regular small round brush. And then let's make it bigger, slightly bigger like that. Now I can make it bigger using my bracket keys like that. Now I'm gonna use my black color and remove it from here a little bit, not too much, just from the ground. And let's keep it on this area. So if I turn it on and off, you can see the difference it makes. And you can always double click on this Gaussian blur and go in and decrease it, increase it, whatever you want. So let's keep it 7, that looks better. And then when my layer 1 is selected, I'm gonna go and create another new layer and then select my brush tool and this big or maybe slightly bigger than that. And then I will paint with black color directly, nothing else. And make sure right click and your hardness is 0% so you can get this really nice fading. Then change this blending mode to soft light. Let's turn it on and off. Yeah. And then opacity to 30% or 35, something like that, however you prefer. And then let's adjust it a little bit. Now this will allow us to make it slightly darker and separate the subject better from the background, as you can see near her hair. So this looks better. And then I'm gonna create new adjustment layer from here and then select hue saturation and decrease the saturation a little bit. So as you can see, my hue saturation layer is under this layer. So this darkening will only affect the background. As you can see, black and white, that looks good, but that's not the look we are going for. So minus 20% or something looks fine. So as you can see, it works really good. And then let's go and select this model again and then go to image adjustment and again shadows and highlights. And I might increase the shadows a little bit. So this is the trial error, you will have to do it again and again. That's how the manipulations work. So this one I think is better than the previous one. Yep, a bit more bright. And now it's time to add some adjustment on the model. So I'm gonna double click on this thing here and then I'm gonna select my gradient overlay. And the gradient overlay, as always, I'm gonna select my foreground to transparent. And then let's adjust it a little bit and then change the angle. Since the light will be coming from this way, I'm gonna make this portion darker a little bit and then change its blending mode to soft light. So if I turn it on and off, you can see the way it makes it darker and gives her that depth. So that looks nice and I'm gonna hit OK. You can adjust it anytime if you want. And now it's time to add that really crazy contrast that makes it look really badass. So to do that, I'm gonna create a new blank layer from here and then I will press Ctrl, Alt, Shift and E. So it will create a JPG inside Photoshop, as you can see. Now I'm gonna go to my filter, other and high pass. Now mostly we use this thing for sharpening, but this time I'm gonna use it for its contrast. So 30% or maybe 25 seems also good. And then I'm gonna hit OK. So as you can see, there is this thing here, and then when I change its blending mode to hard light, as you can see the amount of sharpness and contrast it gives. But as you can see, it is also affecting the colors. So to make sure that it doesn't affect the colors, I'm gonna go to image adjustment and then I'm gonna make it desaturate. So it will not hurt any kind of colors. And then if you want, you can decrease the opacity a little bit if you like, your choice. and then I'm gonna press Ctrl J. That will make a copy of it. Now obviously it looks ridiculous, but I'm gonna apply a layer mask here, use my paint bucket tool and fill in the black color in the layer mask. So everything is hidden, and now I'm gonna grab my brush tool, and then I will start painting here on her jacket, not anywhere else, using my white color obviously. So let's paint it here a little bit, as you can see on her t-shirt where it looks really nice, contrasty, on the glove, and where she has wounds. So as you can see here, and when I paint here, as you can see, those wounds, like, they start to look real. So let's start painting here and a little bit here. So take your time and paint properly, and you can also paint here a little bit, but that, I think, jeans looks fine. So now if I turn it on enough, you can see the detail it gives in the jacket, and here you can always like decrease the opacity, and I think we went a little bit too much with the sharpening, I mean the contrast, but hey, it still looks decent. So as you can see the difference it makes, this almost looks blur compared to that. So that's that. Now we're gonna do some color matching, and to do that I'm gonna hold on my control key and click on this layer mask here. So we have this active selection of her. Now go to a layer 1, which is the background, and then I'm gonna press Ctrl J. So it will make a cutout of her. If you wanna see, you can hold Alt key and click on this eye. See, this way you can see that like there is cutout of her. Now I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna rasterize this layer style so that it's flat, and then I'm gonna put this layer 4 on top of everything. So now I'm gonna go to my filter, blur, and then I'm gonna do average. So it will make the average color out of the image. Then change its blending mode to color. So obviously it's black and white at the moment. You can also go with soft light if you like. Soft light doesn't work that nice though. So I'm gonna go with color and then change its opacity to like 50% or something like that, or maybe 20-30. And now if I turn it on and off, you can see that the way color matches with the background. At the moment she was saturated, but now she is not. So that looks really nice. And now I feel that she's still not bright enough. So I'm gonna go in here, select this layer here, go to image, adjustment, and again go to my shadows and highlights and make the shadows pump out even more. And then let's adjust the highlights a little bit. You might thinking like this is the third time I'm going in there and changing the stuff, but well, that's just the way it works. Like in the manipulation, you cannot guess in the first time like what output will work. So I'm gonna go and hit OK. So as you can see, now it looks even better from the last one. It will take trial and error. So it looks decent enough. Now layer 4. Now I'm gonna create another blank layer, grab my brush tool, and instead of this black color I'm gonna select this grayish tone, like a little bit like that, and then I'm gonna make my brush really big, and click once here and a little bit here. Change this blending mode to screen obviously. So as you can see, there is a little bit of light feeling going on there. Now I'm gonna create another blank layer, and this time instead of this gray color, I'm gonna go and select this dark orangish color, something like that, and then paint with that here. So I'm gonna select my brush tool and paint here a little bit, and then change its blending mode to screen. So now as you can see, there is a light going on here a little bit. You can always press Ctrl T and then make it bigger so that the light is on her and stuff like that. So that looks nice. Now since there's a light, we can create a rim light on her. So to create that, I'm gonna double click on this model layer here, and there I'm gonna select inner shadow. Now in inner shadow, drag your shadow a little bit here like that. Now as you can see, it's shadow, so it's black, but instead of doing that, I'm gonna change blending mode to color dodge, and instead of this black color, I'm gonna select some dark orangish tone that goes really nice. Hit OK. Now if I turn it on and off, you can see the difference it makes. If I zoom in, you can see even better. See the difference? I know that. So if you turn it on and off, you see the difference it makes? Amazing. You can always make the opacity 100%, so that looks nice. And now it's time to light up her cigarette. So let's go in here and zoom in. So as you can see, the cigarette it doesn't look that great. So I'm gonna go to my layer 6, and then I'm gonna create new blank layer. Select my brush tool, and as you can see, we have this darker orange. I'm gonna go with slightly reddish color. Go here, make my brush really small, big enough to cover the cigarette, and then I'm gonna paint here like that. You don't have to use any kind of selection, just be natural with it because the light will glow a little bit. So that looks nice. And then I'm gonna change its blending mode to vivid light to see how it works out, and that looks really good. So I'm gonna go to my filter, blur, and then I will apply a little bit of Gaussian blur. So that's way too much, so I think 3.5. Yeah, that looks nice. And then change its opacity a little bit. So now if I zoom out, as you can see, the light is glowing, and since there's a light, there needs to be smoke. So this background, we don't need it, so I'm gonna close it. Nope. And then let's go in here, and this is the smoke image. So I'm gonna press Ctrl A, and then I'm gonna press Ctrl C, come here, and then I'm gonna press Ctrl V. This box will come up, so just hit OK. And then as you can see, the smoke is at the moment black. So all you have to do is just press Ctrl I, and the smoke will turn white, because white is the opposite of black, and Ctrl I will turn the colors opposite. So I'm gonna press Ctrl T, rotate this thing here a little bit like that, and then I'm gonna hold my shift key and make it smaller. And let's come here, and whoa, what is going on? So now I'm gonna make it smaller, hold my shift key, and then make it a little bit more smaller. Yeah, that seems nice. And put my smoke here, let's make it slightly more smaller, and put it here and confirm it. Now I don't need this rest of the area, so I'm gonna just directly erase it. You can use mask would be much better, but the tutorial is already way too long. So I'm gonna go and remove it using my eraser, though I will suggest using a layer mask, that would be much better. So this looks nice, not the best job done in the world, but wait, still better. So let's put it here a little bit, and then I'm gonna remove a little bit of smoke from down here, and that looks pretty good actually. And then I will go to filter, blur, and apply a little bit of blur, not too much, just a little bit. So I'm gonna go with 0.5 first. Yeah, that seems decent, and then hit OK. So I'm gonna zoom out a bit, and then I'm gonna create a new adjustment layer and select curves. Now the curves, I'm gonna lift up this thing a little bit, not too much, just a slightly, not too much, okay? And then I'm gonna go to my red, and then I will adjust it a bit, add a little bit of red. And then let's go to the blues, and here I will add a little bit of a yellow. These things are really minor, as you can see, and still makes a big difference. So be careful while using it. Now I'm gonna create new adjustment layer from here and select curves and add a little bit of contrast, and let's increase the highlights a bit, and then a touch contrast, not too much, just a touch, okay? So that seems really nice. And now I'm gonna create one more adjustment layer from here, and then I'm gonna select color lookup, and in the color lookup I'm gonna go and select this crisp warm look. Now it's ridiculously strong, so I'm gonna change its blend mode from normal to color, so it will only affect the colors and not the contrast of the image, because it's already way too contrasty. And then I'm gonna change its opacity to 50%, so it looks more balanced out. So that looks really nice. So it is almost done, but we need to do one more thing. So I'm gonna go and create a new blank layer from here, and in my colors I'm gonna go and select a yellowish orange color, something like this. Yeah, that seems decent. Hit OK. And then I'm gonna start paint it here, something like this, near her leg and here. So this will give it a slight more haziness, and then change its blend mode to screen and decrease the opacity to maybe 20%, a little bit more. So let's turn it on and off. Yeah, that looks much better. So this will just balance out the image, and since it's already way too contrasted, this will give it that warm fuzziness a little bit that it needs. Now the final output is ready, and it's time to adjust couple of things so that it looks better. So first of all, we can go to gradient overlay, and here we can decrease the opacity so that the ground looks nicer. Hit OK. And also with this punch that we used here, maybe we can go to hue saturation, and then I'm gonna decrease the saturation a bit more so that it looks more balanced out and nice. The model stands out really good in the background. So yeah, that looks really nice. And you can also adjust this thing here on her leg, the rim light we tried to create. So in the gradient overlay, actually this is the inner shadow, and you can increase just the size like that, and then adjust it here. You can change the color if you want. It is complete freedom, whatever you want. So I'm gonna go and okay, my PC is slow. It's painfully slow. I'm really frustrated at the moment. So you can adjust the colors however you want, like it's totally up to you. So I'm gonna make it slightly brighter, and let's turn it on and off. Yeah, that looks also a lot better. So this is the final output, and let's look at the original one. Whoa. And this is the edited one. So I really hope that you guys learned something, and if you did, hit that like button. And if you have any kind of questions, suggestions, or whatever you want to ask me, you can ask me in the comment section below. Plus you can click on any of these boxes to check out more photo manipulations, and you can also hit on that subscribe button, so every time I upload a new video you will get the update. Plus it will take you to my channel where I have more than 75 free Photoshop tutorials just waiting for you. So till then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.